aura and spell watches. It's really the beginning of this functionality. It's very basic at this stage. All it really does at the moment is log particular abilities, whether it's an aura or a cast. So things like Defile, you don't want necessarily to have it prompting everyone who's standing in it, although that may be a good thing to log. You want the person that is actually cast on. So basically you put your aura name and you put in a message that you want to appear in your log, with spell and target being the placeholders here. You can clear that and create a new one, or you can select an existing one and make changes to it and save it. The end result of that is an audit log. So you can see here that I've got nothing for today, but if I was to move that back to yesterday, I've got some from Surafang here. You can filter by encounter, so every time you enter combat, a new encounter is created, and if there's logs against that encounter, it's retained, so you can filter your list. And you can see here the people who got Boiling Blood and also got Mark of the Fallen Champion cast on them. In future versions, this will enable you to have a bar for each of these abilities, hopefully with a cooldown, so you'll be able to see when abilities will drop off for people, etc. The next is a basic feature called Attendees, and effectively what this allows you to do is it gives you a combination of your raiders and your substitutes in a text area that you can just copy and paste out. Prior to building my export functionality for my website, I was using this to copy and paste names in. So it's a good way of getting a list of all those people that were involved in the raid for use off-site or out of game. Okay, I'm going to go through the assignments side of this. So assignments can be gotten to by the core add-on by clicking on Load Assignment window, or you can right-click on your icon, whether it be your minimap or your LDB, and show assigns. So the main thing to note here is the setup of your assignments. We have the role leads defined, which you would have seen as part of the raid setup earlier. These are the same data effectively, and we also have our channels that we're wanting to be broadcasting our assignments to, so you can have as many channels as you require. And the way that it works is that we set up some generic assignments. So we have an instance, and we can create new instances obviously. So at the moment I've just got an ICC one for demonstration purposes. I can add a new fight to that. Let's just say that it's Dreamwalker. And we can see now that we have a new fight available to be adding information to. So Lady Death Whisperer I set up one a bit earlier. Key thing here, you can go through and make changes to this the name if you want. You can delete and activate. I'll get to in a minute. Basically, the responsibility for an assignment is the person who you're wanting to be broadcasting this to confirm that you've got it right. So the idea is that the raid leader manages the entirety of the assignments. He then sends those out to the various role leaders who are also running the add-on. They get a pop-up with their assignments that they're responsible for to confirm, and they can then send that back to the raid leader. Now, you don't need to do that. You can just set up your assignments with the responsibility as purely the lead. It's up to you. If you prefer not to have everyone needing to use the add-on, then yeah, definitely do it that way. The output, you've got the choice of either a channel or a whisper, and the target is either going to be one of the channels, whether it be Officer, Raid, Warning, Biz Heal, Biz Range and Biz Melee in our cases. or a raider. So in this case it's only myself in the group, so I'm the only one that's available. You would only use a toon name in the case that you're doing a whisper. And then the details, so you just type in the details. So if I click on one that I've already created, you can see now that the responsibility for this assignment is ranged. It's going to the channel of UpysRange, and all I've got is details with a placeholder which is enclosed in brackets. And basically what we're going to be doing then is utilizing our global placeholders to replace this string of text here with real toon names for the assignments. So if I click on my global placeholders, we can see that we have similar sort of setup. We've got our responsibilities at placeholder, which is the text without the bracket, and then the target. Now target can be as many people as required, so you can see with my LDW_left as placeholder, that's actually going to about 6 people. At the moment it's only myself in RAID, so you can only see myself, but you know, the idea is that you can have that set up and ready to go prior to the encounter itself. You've got some options to obviously delete placeholders and also clearing. So if I click on clear for this interrupts, it's just going to clear out the targets. The reason why I've added that is that because I wanted you to be able to set it up and leave it, and it retains that data. It does mean that you're occasionally going to have people who are not in RAID in the list, so I may add a check later to only populate it if they're in RAID, but we'll see how we go. So if I go back into this one, I've now got no one selected. I can select myself and click save, and you can see that it's updated. So what we need to do now is we need to activate this assignment, so that if I click on activate from within the fight, my active assignments screen is now visible, and what I've got now is a list of all of the assignments, including the replacement of my placeholder text with all of the toons that I'd selected. So you can see that matches up with my global placeholders there. You then have the option to either send that to the assigns to the leads, and the associated ranged lead will only get the first 2 records come up for them to confirm, and then the same with the melee. So in this case, the tank and the heal leader wouldn't get any messages, only those 2 that were applicable. Or we can broadcast. So if I click on broadcast, you can see down the bottom here that I've had 2 channels information sent. 6 is my ranged, so that's the ID, and you can see if I move my window over that it's just put the assignment there with all the toons. So the assignment obviously can have a lot more information, but that's the idea, that you can build it up in that way. In the case of things like HOTS, for example, so if I select HOTS and put that on me, and go to another fight, so if I say Dreamweaver Walker, sorry, and say a channel of Biz Heal, and I put HOTS, and then I can put some data around it, so HOTS on main tank. So you can see that my placeholders here match up with my placeholders that I've put here as details. So if I click OK to that and save, I've now got a new assignment for this Dreamwalker, and if I activate it, I haven't set up a main tank, but you get the idea that you can use it in a lot, I guess, more comprehensive way and flexible way than a drag and drop system, where you're simply dragging and dropping toons into roles. This allows you to build up a fair bit of text around it and get a bit smarter about what you need people to be aware of. So it could be something as simple as telling people to watch out for interrupts, or you can be a little bit better about how you present that information to the people who you're wanting to get it across to.